Hi. Okay, so just for the next few minutes, I'm going to do a brief tutorial on reading labels on food, on prepackaged foods. I've had some clients ask me about that, and they don't know what it means, what the labels mean, and how to read the ingredients and things like that. So I've got here just a pretty common breakfast, especially for people that are trying to maintain or lose weight, or even providing it for their children. And it's the little famous Carnation instant breakfast, right? Uh, Pretty good for you, healthy, low calories. Maybe. Let me just show you a few things. Now, you may not be able to read everything on the label because it's going to be very small print, but I want to show you some things to look for on anything that you're eating, on any prepackaged foods. So we look at the back here. Now, over here we've got the list of ingredients. Of course, like I said, you probably can't read this, but this is Carnation Instant Breakfast. I didn't bother to count, but there's a lot of ingredients there. Now, what are all of them? Well, it starts off simply enough with non-fat milk, sugar, cocoa. You know, make it taste good. You gotta have something, some sweeteners, maltodextrin, things like that in there. A lot of the other stuff that is in here, though, interestingly enough, are vitamins and minerals. Now they have weird names. We have, let's see, ferric orthophosphate is an iron source. Alpha tocopherol acetate is vitamin E. I didn't know that. I just figured vitamin E was vitamin E. Uh, Pyridoxine hydrochloride. Now that sounds bad, but that's vitamin B6. Now, have you ever wondered why they're fortifying our food with all these things? Has that ever crossed your mind before? Why do we need to put vitamin B6 and vitamin E and vitamin C in our foods? You'll notice if you look at like the vitamin C here, it's got 140% of your recommended daily allowance of vitamin C. So that should make you and your children healthier, right? But again, why are they put in there? Why are they not there in the first place? Well, Michael Pollan, the author, in his what I consider a groundbreaking book called In Defense of Food, and I would recommend anybody to read or listen to this book, he talks about why these vitamins and minerals are put back in the food where they should have existed in the first place. Well, through the processing of wheat and of corn and of really most foods that get processed down to a point where they can package them, create foods that can sit on a shelf for a long time, many months or many years. They remove many of the nutrients that naturally exist in the food. And then over many years, they found out that by removing all of these vitamins and minerals in our food, that people were not as healthy, and they were having deficiencies in their diet that were causing a host of problems. So these manufacturers, along with the dietitians, uh, discovered that, well, we can just put these nutrients back in the food, and they surmised that we'll be just as good off for it. We'll pull them out, but then we'll put them back in. What they didn't take into consideration is putting these vitamins and minerals back in food. They don't work as well as when they are existing in their natural state, when they were in the food in the first place. In other words, when you look at the back of a package of Carnation Instant Breakfast and you see that it's loaded up with vitamins and minerals, and you think it's good for you, many of those vitamins and minerals may have no effect whatsoever on your well-being. There's been very little proof that just putting these back in give us the same benefits as if they were there in the first place. What's the moral of the story? Try to get most of your food from whole food sources. Whole fruits, whole vegetables. If you're eating grains, wheat, corn, things like that, try to get it as minimally processed as possible. Try to buy foods that have as few ingredients as possible. The fewer ingredients there are, it means they're more of a whole state food. That doesn't mean you'll be lacking in vitamins and minerals. In fact, when you're eating more whole foods, you're going to get the vitamins and minerals, the micronutrients that your body needs, and your body will be able to use them, process them, metabolize them much more efficiently and usefully than in foods where they've extracted all the good parts, all the micronutrients, and then tried to put them back in a ratio that a dietitian or a nutritionist or a food company thinks are going to be good for you. Nature knows better, and that's been proven over and over again. Now, what about the other aspects of the label? Well, just going over it briefly, we have your total calories will be at the top of the label. Sorry, I keep moving off screen here. You've got your fat, your saturated fats, your cholesterol, sodium, potassium, total carbohydrates down here, fiber, sugars, protein, and then your vitamins and minerals the rest of the way down. What do all these mean? Well, if you should have already watched, or you will be watching soon, the breakdown that I think, the ratios I think are ideal for a generally healthy living: 50% carbohydrates, 25% of your calories from fat, and 25% from protein. Well, the labels back here are really useful for figuring that information out. What percentage of your calories are coming from those three macronutrients: protein, carbohydrates, and fat? So use labels to figure that out. If you're trying to watch your sugar intake, use the label to add up approximately how many grams of sugar you're getting from the different foods that you're eating. But here's the cool thing. If you're eating more whole foods, a lot of those things are going to take care of themselves, especially the nutrients and the sugars and things like that. You're generally not going to overconsume those when you're eating foods that are more in a natural state. So I hope that helps. Just gives you a brief cursory information as to why the label exists and what kind of information you can get from it. But remember, the key things are the fewer ingredients, the better. And that just because manufacturers are putting vitamins and minerals back in the food doesn't necessarily mean it's healthier. You're going to get an abundance of good, useful vitamins and minerals and other important micronutrients from eating your whole foods, existing in a non-processed state. Hope that helps. If you have any other questions, please feel free to get a hold of me and I'll answer all of them that I can. Have a great day.